Another movie I highly recommend is Git, or A Feather. A very beautiful drama, I would say even a melodrama, once again by Song Il-gon, the guy that also directed Spider Forest, and I told you this is probably my favorite Korean movie, so this is the same director. I really like the cinematic style of the director, and he really has a great hand when it comes to telling stories. This is basically an art house drama that deals about lost love but not forgotten, and it has so many beautiful down-to-earth moments that I just can only recommend it. It is such a heartwarming, nice piece. And this is the Korean DVD release of the movie. Also with a very strong cast, if you ask me. So a small booklet that I hopefully can get out, come on. And this is the inside of the DVD box. The Scarlet Letter, a movie I cannot remember much about, to be honest. It was released in the early 2000s, I do believe 2004, and it stars the late Lee Eun-joo, who was a sensational actress. I really, really loved her. Unfortunately, a few years after that movie, she committed suicide. And I think this movie is also partly responsible for that. Basically, she felt pressured by working in the industry, by having to do scenes where I don't think Lee Eun-joo was ever naked, but she wore little clothes and she was not comfortable with that. So at some point she took her own life, which I thought was really sad. Because I was really a big fan of her and I really did enjoy her work and her acting. And well, this is one of her movies, The Scarlet Letter, a thriller movie with a romantic theme, and this is actually pretty much everything I can remember of that movie. It had a strong female cast and with prominent male actor Han Seok-kyu. Anyway, this is another very stylish box set. Looks really neat. This is the main poster motif for the movie, and this is actress Lee Eun-joo, who committed suicide. I really love the still shots of that movie, actually really well done. We have a small booklet here, and this is another 2-disc set, and let me take those DVDs out because we have really cool motifs here also on the backside with the complete female cast, the 3 main actresses of the movie. In the middle, once again, Lee Eun-joo. This is yet another art house drama by director Hong Sang-soo, and this is one of his movies that I enjoy more. It's called Nobody's Daughter, Haewon, and Haewon is played by an actress that I also really like, by Chung Eun-jae. Really beautiful lady with a lot of talent, and this is yet another slow-paced love story, so to say, but it is just told in a really beautiful way, and it's probably one of my favorite movies by the director, next to On the Occasion of Remembering the Turning Gate. And as you can see, it comes as a 1-disc edition. Let's stay in the art house genre. This is Bad Guy by Kim Ki-duk, and we briefly talked about this movie before. It is one of the darker works by Kim Ki-duk, but I actually really enjoy that movie. The movie revolves about a gangster and a pimp that grabs a girl off the streets, a student, and forces her into prostitution. And in the beginning, she really hates him because obviously he's a fucking bastard. But after a while, she starts to have feelings for him in a really strange way. It might be Stockholm Syndrome, I have no idea. But it is actually a very nice told story about the dark sides of Korean society. Unfortunately, this edition is not worthy of the movie. This is another old Hong Kong edition of the movie. What sucks most about this edition is the horrible picture quality. I'm not even sure if it's widescreen. It still might be in a 1:1.33 format, but I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the classic cover motif, the poster motif for the Bad Guy movie. And as mentioned, this is a very dark and gritty movie, not for young audiences. And this is the relatively simple Hong Kong release of that film. I do believe, however, it is uncut, as much as I know. Lovely Im Soo-jong and Hyun-bin star in Come Rain, Come Shine, another brutally slow-paced art house movie by director Lee Young-gi. Don't get me wrong, however, I really enjoyed it. I actually really loved it for its extremely slow pace and the nice character development. This is probably not a movie for everyone, but if you can appreciate such movies, you probably will enjoy it. And I really do think this is a great role for Im Soo-jong, the actress on top here, which I also really do like. And what I actually also really do like is the physical release of that movie. Let's have a closer look at that one. I really love when you can open editions like that. So, you know, not just having those cheap sleeves with a normal DVD box, but those digipacks. And I really do like those digipacks. So here is the first DVD. I think this is another 2 DVD release. I might be wrong though. Here is a notebook, which is already falling apart, unfortunately, with motifs from the movie. Oh, come on, this sucks. And here are some postcards with production notes and similar stuff, I guess. And it is actually just a 1 DVD release. Doesn't matter, it's still a very cool release of a very, as mentioned, slow pace, but really cool movie. And heck, it comes with a rubber band. What more do you want? Yet another great Korean mix of drama and thriller, this time on the raging sea. This movie is called Haemu. I think it also has an English title, but it escaped me. It might have been Sea Fog or something, whatever. The amazing director Bong Joon-ho was also involved in this production. He was not the director of this movie. That was Shim Song-bo, but nevertheless, it turns out to be another brilliant piece of Korean cinema. I do believe this movie is based on an original play. It is basically about a crew on a smuggler ship. I do actually believe, if I can remember that correctly, it also deals about mistreatment and killing of refugees on sea. It is a very dark story and it is very gripping on a psychological level. Yeah, as mentioned, I was really positively impressed by this movie. This is one of the Korean editions of the movie, another DVD release coming in a sleeve. This is actually a really cool cover motif, if you ask me. I really do like that one. And I really would recommend that film to almost everyone if you can stand or digest gritty material. So this edition comes with a small booklet, actually just a 4-pager and 2 discs, another feature film disc and another special features disc. This is the backside. This is one of the most prominent and well-made Korean movies of the early 2000s, maybe next to movies like Shiri. This one is called Joint Security Area, or just JSA. It is an early work of director Park Chan-wook, who you might know from movies like Oldboy, Thirst, or I'm a Cyborg, but that's okay. Actually, I'm not really the biggest Park Chan-wook fan. He makes really good movies, but it's just not my personal style. But this one, Joint Security Area, as mentioned, one of his older pieces, is more in the vein of traditional Korean art house thriller movies, and it comes with a top-notch cast. A few of the biggest Korean players, especially the male actors Song Kang-ho and Lee Byung-hyun. This movie is basically about an incident at the Korean border, you know, the border between North and South Korea. And our 3 folks here just try to solve the mystery around that case. Very well made movie and skillfully told. And this Korean special edition is really one of a kind. It is very stylish and very elegant. And I do think it fits the character of the movie perfectly. So this here as the sleeve, and inside is actually a digipack of sorts with an alternative cover. And in all honesty, okay, this is how you open it. I just wanted to say, in all honesty, I have no idea how to open it. So this is another 2-disc edition. 1 is the movie and 2 is, I think, with special features again. And we do have a nice motif here on the back side again. And if you know a bit about Korea, you might recognize this location anyway. And it also comes with a small booklet here. A movie that can be recommended to a lot of people. Actually, it is a movie that serves a broad audience, I would say. It is a really good thriller. Atuma is a one-of-a-kind revenge flick featuring the great Chang Yong-nam in the main role. She basically plays a divorced mother that finds out that her daughter was raped, and then she goes on a revenge trip. The production values are mediocre, I would say. It's definitely a small budget movie, but it is okay. It is not a masterpiece, but it is good entertainment. Chang Yong-nam is an actress that I actually do really like, and she plays her role well. I believe this is the only edition that ever came out in Korea. So this is another one with a sleeve. Here's the back side, and it came with this booklet as goodie. And this booklet is actually, or was actually, not inside the sleeve. It comes standalone. And here is the actual DVD box with the same motif on the cover, back side, and I do believe this is a one-disc edition. Yep. Let's have a short look at the cover motif. Or not the cover motif, I mean the motif on the back side. And that's Atuma. Spy Girl is a romantic comedy action flick from the early 2000s. And I think it revolves around a high school student that also is a spy. I honestly cannot remember much of the movie. It has been so long since I last saw it. But the main actress, Kim Sung-hwa, was really pretty in that movie, and it was decent entertainment. This again is a Hong Kong release of the movie, as you can see by the Chinese characters on the cover. Here's the back side. I can remember I did enjoy that movie when I watched it. It's not a great film by any means, but it is enjoyable for the short running time it has. And as I mentioned, the main actress was really pretty in that movie, and she also played her role really great actually. Phone is another one of those mid-2000 horror films, those mainstream horror films that started to emerge in Korea around that time. And this one again is with Ha Ji-won, and I have to warn you, I'm a huge Ha Ji-won fan, and I especially was during the 2000s. I almost have every single one of her movies. So we're going to see a lot more Ha Ji-won movies, and Ha Ji-won is also one of the main reasons why I got this movie. The movie is pretty decent. Again, it's not great, and I do believe this comes from the same director as Byun-shin Sawa that we saw earlier. What I do like about Phone besides Ha Ji-won is its aesthetics. It's shot in a very pleasing way. I did like the visuals. Do believe this is also the special edition, the Korean special edition. It comes as a digipack as far as I can remember, and a very gorgeous looking one actually. So I have no idea. Is this the front side? This is probably the front side. Actually, I do think we have a continuous motif. Yep, this is Ha Ji-won and her beautiful eyes. So let's open this thing up. So upside down, I don't have any idea. I do like this poster motif, really cool, and I do like the colors. So we do have a small booklet here, once again Ha Ji-won, production notes about the cast, synopsis, blah blah blah, and this is yet another 2-disc edition. So, oh Jesus Christ. Finally, here is once again Ha Ji-won in the same motif we already saw, chapters, the second disc, and I don't believe we have a motif on the back, so I'll just leave that disc in here. Anyway, this is Phone. If you want to pick up a contemporary horror mainstream movie from the 2000s from that director, I would actually prefer it over all his other works. I think this is the most decent one, and it has one of the greatest and most beautiful Korean actresses in it, Ha Ji-won. This is another movie that I cannot remember much about, in all honesty. It's called Everybody Has Secrets. It's a kind of romantic comedy. Again, it's with Mr. Lee Byung-hun trying to juggle a relationship with 3 different women, I believe. It is a strong female cast. It features Choi Chi-woo, Kim Yeon-jin, and Soo Sang-mi. Again, this is another movie of which I have kind of fond memories, which was not a great movie, but a movie I kind of enjoyed, and that's why I probably got it on DVD. This is another special edition by Cinema Service, coming in a nice digipack. Here we have the full cast of the movie with very prominent faces of Korean cinema. It comes with a thick booklet, staff information, production notes, etc., synopsis, and this is the actual digipack. Once again, a very strong cover motive. I really do like it. Here's our main male actor. Here is the 2-disc set, and on the back we actually do have the 3 main actresses. And yeah, that's all I remember of that movie. Maybe it's good, maybe not, but I have it. Next one is Mission Iris, or I do believe the English title is just Iris. This is a German DVD, by the way. I got it like 10 years ago and I never ever watched it. Got it out of the bargain bin for like $1.50, took it home, forgot it. I do believe this is based on a very successful Korean drama, or vice versa. I'm not entirely sure. All I can remember is that Kim Tae-hee also played in that movie. But for completeness sake, let's have a look also at the back side of the packaging and at the actual DVD inside. So apparently this is rated 18 in Germany. Backside, and here is the DVD of the German release of that movie. This one is called Dream, another late art house drama by Kim Ki-duk, starring the beautiful Lee Na-young. And apparently Lee Na-young almost died while shooting that movie. The main actor of the movie that you see on the bottom, by the way, is Japanese, but his nationality doesn't really matter because he doesn't have a single line in this movie. This is another Hong Kong release by Golden Scene and Panorama, coming again in a sleeve. So let's have a short look at the actual DVD, same cover motive. Here's the backside once again, and the DVD of Kim Ki-duk's Dream. A highly praised drama by prominent director Bong Joon-ho, who also directed movies like Memories of Murder, The Host, Snowpiercer, and this one is called Mother, and it features a very prominent cast with Kim Hye-ja and Won Bin. The story of a dedicated mother that takes care of her retarded son, who is a suspect in a murder case, was highly praised upon release. And in front of us is the Korean special edition that comes as digipack. On the front, actress Kim Hye-ja and Won Bin on the backside. And I do believe this is another 2-disc edition with a lot of extras on the second disc. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep, here is the English title, Mother. Once again, the 2 main actors. Disc 1 and Disc 2. Great release for a highly praised movie. This movie is the lesser known Marine Boy, a very stylish action drama with a, let's say, nautical theme. I didn't really expect much when I first watched that movie, but I actually was really pleasantly surprised. It's a really nice action flick if you have some time to waste. And on plus, the main actress Park Si-yeon here on the left side looks really, really stunning. I think at that time she was really at the height of her career. And this one comes in yet another elegant Korean 2-disc special edition. I really do like the design of this edition, to be honest. And the second disc has a lot of extras for the movie. Here's the actual DVD case. And as mentioned, it comes as 2-disc edition and with a nice motif here on the backside. Faceless Beauty is, I would say, a psychedelic, adult-themed thriller movie starring veteran actress Kim Ye-soo. It is a well-done erotic suspense piece about love and intrigues, and actually I can really recommend it. Let's have a look at the Korean special edition of that movie. Again, I think like a first press edition, and it really shows it's a gorgeous release. Again, another digipack for a really well-made movie. I made it sound like it's a cheap erotic thriller, but it actually is not. It is very deep and is also very artful. I really did enjoy it. as I do enjoy this edition. Really stylish and well made. So we do have a small booklet for the movie with synopsis and characters, etc. And again, this comes as a 2-disc edition. Let's have a short look at the back motifs. Here they are. And once again, the other side. So as mentioned, this is a really gorgeous edition for an unknown but very well done movie. You might be familiar with this recently released action blockbuster, The Villainous, starring Kim Ok-bin, who also starred in movies like Park Chan-wook's Thirst. This is a German release of the movie and I absolutely hate that cover. I just cannot tell you how freaking much I hate it. But I got it because it was really cheap, and it also includes another well-made Korean movie, Confession of Murder. So this is actually a double pack. I have to say I was actually really surprised how good this movie is. I first saw the trailer, I saw all this CGI and this polished action, and that gave me the impression it's another lifeless Hollywood-esque blockbuster movie, but actually it's a surprisingly good movie and I really enjoyed watching it, so I can recommend it if you like action flicks. And I actually really do like Kim Ok-bin in this movie. However, I would just recommend you to get another edition because, as mentioned, I do hate this cover. But let's have a short look at the whole release. The backside is way cooler, and here you can see the cover of the second movie included in that package, Confession of Murder. I can also recommend that one. So if I remember that correctly, it comes as a 2-disc edition, obviously, 1 DVD per movie. On the right side we have the Villainous DVD and on the left side the Confession of Murder DVD. Let's have a short look at the motif on the back. It is basically the cover motif just in big, but well, that is the German release of Villainous. I do not know if there is another German release of that movie, like a single disc edition that just has the Villainous movie and not the Confession of Murder movie. Himalaya, Where the Wind Dwells, a very slow-paced art house drama with a lot of love for details, starring veteran actor Choi Min-sik. The plot is basically about a man who escapes the hectic city life of Korea and finds his inner peace during a journey through the Himalaya. If you like slow-paced art house dramas, you should give this one definitely a try. I simply do love it for the different theme and man becoming one with nature. And in front of us is the very rare physical release of the movie, the Korean special edition, and as far as I know, this is the only edition that has ever been released of that movie. So I'm actually kind of proud to have this one. It was not easy to get, I can remember that. But it is yet another gorgeous physical release of a very interesting Korean movie. It comes as a digipack and I really do like that. And it's just gorgeous to look at. Its design is really great. It comes with some postcards and I do believe here is an actual piece of film from the movie inside. And as you can see, it has notes about the movie on the back of the packaging, as well as some cool motifs from the movie, some still shots, and as you can see, it comes as a 2-disc edition. One Fine Spring Day is a bittersweet romantic drama. It features lead actor Yoo Ji-tae and Lee Young-hae on the left side. It's basically about two characters that try to forget their painful past through love. And Yoo Ji-tae plays a sound engineer in that movie. And this is yet another gorgeous Korean special edition. I really do like that one too. That's the back side, and it does have a window in the front. And this is the actual DVD. The only downside about this release is that it does not come with English subtitles. So if you have to rely on English subtitles for Korean movies, then you definitely have to get another edition like the Hong Kong edition. We do get a booklet here. And again, it's a 2-disc edition. You can also have a short look at the motif on the back side. I do also have another edition of that movie with English subtitles. I'm going to show that one in a later part of our special. This beautiful romantic drama is called Pisces. I'm never exactly sure how to pronounce the English word. It was released in the year 2000 and stars the wonderful Lee Mi-yeon. Again, another Korean special edition of this movie, and I really like the motifs, the still shots of this physical release. It's yet another wonderful packaging you really want to look at, and I also do love the motif here on the DVD cover. Really beautiful, really classic, has a lot of elegance. And this is just a one disc edition with a nice motif here on the back. Another drama starring Choi Min-sik, this time as music teacher, reinventing himself when he starts teaching in a remote junior high school. It's another, you can say art house drama with really lovely small moments. And once again, of course, this is a Korean special or limited edition, I'm not entirely sure. Another Digipack as 2-disc edition. Here it is. We have a booklet, we have the 2 discs. And like I said, if you're into that stuff, check it out. Definitely a nice flick. This movie is called Daddy Longlegs, and I got it because it stars the lovely Ha Ji-won. In all honesty, I cannot remember anything about that movie. I think it was a mixture between drama and comedy. I can remember that I did like it, but it's not like amazing, the best movie ever that you have to see. But it's a cute little piece, and once again, Ha Ji-won is wonderful. And who would have thought this is yet another Korean special edition of the movie? It does have a window here on the front, and it gives view to a postcard. So those are the poster motifs of the movie. And we do not just get one postcard, but actually 2 postcards. I actually do prefer that motif. And of course, the actual DVD of the movie. So let's see if this is another 2-disc release. No, it's just a 1-disc release. Back motif. We get a little flyer and some information about the actual movie. This Korean release is actually a double feature. It includes the omnibus movie 5 Senses of Eros, a collection of 5 stories about love and desire, and they are called His Concern, I'm Right Here, The 33rd Man, Believe in the Moment, and In My End Is My Beginning. And the second movie in that package is actually a standalone version of In My End Is My Beginning. It is, so to say, a feature-length director's cut of the movie. And this one stars the really prominent Jung-hwa, a really famous Korean actress and singer. But also the other stories of 5 Senses of Eros feature really prominent actors and actresses. For example, Chang-hyuk, Shin Se-kyung, Song Joong-ki, Lee Si-young, Kim Yo-jin, and so on and so on. It is a nice little collection of beautifully told stories with an exquisite cast. And as usual, I can only recommend to check it out. So here's the packaging of this version of this double feature, front and back side, and the actual CDs or DVDs, so to say. This is the DVD of In My End Is My Beginning, and this is the DVD for 5 Senses of Eros. And this release also comes with a small booklet and a nice little motif again on the back. You might have heard of the KAFA, the Korean Academy of Film and Arts, and this box is a collection of 2008 graduation films from that academy. I do love experimental filming, I do love art house films, I do love films from young directors. So I was really intrigued by that box and got it because I wanted to see what the future directors of Korea had to offer back then. And this box does come with 4 movies, as you can see here. I have to be honest, I can remember very little about the movies, but the one that is really sticking out for me is the story of Mr. Sorry, a very interesting animation movie. It's kind of bittersweet, it has a lot of light and funny moments, but on the other side, it is very dark and depressing. It is a very cool mix and an awesome movie. If you like animation that is also a bit grittier, a bit more experimental, maybe a bit Tim Burton, you should definitely try to track down this movie. And the other titles are The Members of the Funeral, The Day After, and The Room Nearby. I do believe another movie I did enjoy was The Room Nearby, but as I said, I do not have a lot of memories when it comes to those movies. This is definitely another box I would love to check out again, just to see the movies again. Okay, let's have a short look at the 4 DVDs inside. Maybe that brings back memories for me. So this is the DVD for The Story of Mr. Sorry. Here you can see some still shots from the movie. As said, this is an animation film. The next one is Members of the Funeral. Then we have The Day After. And last but not least, The Room Nearby. I can remember I did like that movie. Okay. Another one of my Korean favorites is An Arctic Journal. It's not only a great movie, it also comes in a great Korean release, and it features 2 of the greatest Korean actors, at least in my opinion. On the left side, Song Kang-ho, that you also might know from Snowpiercer, and on the right side, the often mentioned Yoo Ji-tae. This movie is a very neatly paced drama, and it becomes a great suspense flick in its later half. It also has stunning visual shots of nature. The movie's plot does take place in the Antarctic, but it was not actually shot in the Antarctic, but definitely in a scenery that looks a lot like the Antarctic. And the movie is more or less about an expedition team that tries to reach the point of inaccessibility. It's a great journey. I really loved it. As mentioned, visually very strong with great actors, and I really like the suspense part in the end. And a great movie like this also deserves a great release, and it definitely got a really cool limited edition release in Korea. So as you can see, it is a really nice box, really impressive. You can take that off here on the bottom and you get the full box. It looks neat, it's a nice material, feels great in your hand. You can open it, it's just visually stunning, just like the movie. Some information about the movie. Here is the first disc with the actual movie and the second disc with all the extras, and we do have a scenario book that also comes with this edition, all in Korean, but definitely still very, very cool. Here's a timeline about the happenings and the history of Antarctic expedition. And hell yeah, I can only recommend this movie. And if you have the chance to get this version, definitely grab it, because as you can see, it's just beautiful. Bedeviled is a fresh take on the horror genre, and this one is really disturbing, really great. It plays on a Korean island, and the main figure is the lovely woman here on the cover that gets mistreated by all the inhabitants of the island. She also gets abused by her husband and a lot of other people, and basically at some point she snaps and takes revenge. It's such an overwhelming experience. This is definitely one of the coolest horror movies from Korea in the recent years. This once again is a German release, and the white box that you see in the bottom corner here is actually not normal. There was actually an age restriction sticker that I tried to pull off, and well, the cover came right off with it. So let's have a short look at it. This is the back side, and you can open it, I think like that, exactly. It's another mini digipack, I would say. Here is the actual DVD of the release, and we do have a small booklet here on the right side with still shots and more about the actual movie. Very great piece, highly recommended. Watch it if you can. In front of us lies the limited edition of one of my favorite war movies. This is Taegukgi, English titled Brotherhood, by director Kang Jae-gyu, the guy that also brought you Shiri and the spiritual successor to this movie, My Way. This movie feels a bit like Saving Private Ryan, so if you like that one, you definitely want to check out Taegukgi. But this one is actually a lot more brutal, not only when it comes to the depiction of actual violence, but also about the raw emotions and the hopelessness that war triggers in people. Obviously, this piece plays in the Korean War, and it features actors Chang Dong-gon and Won Bin. The late Eun Ju also has a role in the movie, and I think that actually was her last movie before she committed suicide. Very good flick and a very neat limited edition that comes in a part tin box. And the contents here are actually pretty cool. Let me get all its stuff out. So this is the actual box. In this sleeve here are some postcards, different motifs of the movie. Not going to show you all of them. We also do get a nice booklet with a lot of motifs from the movie. And there is a thick digipack that features the discs of the movie. And this is a chapter overview, I think. Again, we have a timeline with all the happenings of the Korean War. Here is disc 1, here is disc 2, and this is disc 3. Why 3 discs, you might ask? So this is actually a really weird release because the movie is split up on 2 DVDs. It is a quite long movie. I think the running time is about 3 hours, and the picture quality of the movie is really good on this DVD release. But unfortunately, that takes a lot of space, so they had to split up the movie on 2 DVDs. That's a bit annoying, but definitely still a great release nonetheless. Let's also see the other side very briefly. And that is a war movie I would definitely recommend. Talking about violence and Korean history, this is the 3-disc limited edition of May 18, an emotional and gripping retelling of the 1980 Gwangju massacre. As you might know, the civil uprising in the city of Gwangju led to Korea becoming a democratic country. And it was also the end of the military regime. You might also know another recent Korean movie that dealt with this topic, Taxi Driver with Song Kang-ho. But this was an earlier movie. It features great actors like Kim Sang-kyung, An Sung-gi, and the wonderful Eo Won. It is very dramatic, it is very emotional, it is very raw at certain points. It is also very straightforward when it comes to the depiction of violence during that uprising. It is all in all a very gripping movie. It is a great drama. The only thing that I do not like about this movie is that they have some scenes that are supposed to be like comedic relief, and it's just not fitting for a serious topic like that. But besides that, it is a very awesome movie that I just can recommend. As well as I can recommend this lovely 3-disc limited edition coming in this wonderful box. And it does have a magnetic opener here on the left side. Now it's going to get tricky. I try to show you all the contents, but the box is really huge. I don't know if I can get it on camera. Anyway, nice still shots of the movie here. On the right side, there is like a compartment with stuff inside. I can't remember exactly what is inside there. It is a special gift, as it says, and it's sealed with a sticker. I don't want to break it now, but I'm pretty sure there's some lovely stuff in there. And now the tricky part, the DVDs here in the middle, because you basically open it like that. So down there is one of the discs. So on this 3rd disc is a special documentary, probably about the Gwangju massacre. In the middle is disc number 2, supplements. So basically all the extras. And up here we do have disc number 1, the actual movie. As I said, a very gritty, not gritty, a very gripping and emotional piece. Another movie I can wholeheartedly recommend. This is the Hong Kong edition of a relatively small and unknown love drama from Korea, An Affair, with veteran actress Lee Mi-suk. It also has thriller and erotic elements. Back then, and we talk about the mid-2000s, I was a big fan of Korean actress Kim Min. She retired a long time ago. And you might have seen her in the Jackie Chan movie, The Accidental Spy. Anyway, I was a big fan of hers back then, and that was basically the reason why I got this movie. It is decent. Well, it's kind of mediocre. It's nothing you would tell your grandchildren about, but it's watchable, and it comes in a nice snap case. Front, backside, inside. and by the Chinese signs on the DVD, you can clearly see that it is a Hong Kong release, but a decent one. It looks good. This big badass motherfucker is definitely one of the greatest additions for one of the best Korean movies of all time. And this is the horror/drama film Memento Mori, the second part of the highly celebrated and famous Korean horror series Whispering Corridors. And this is also by far the best installment of the 4-piece series. So if you don't know the Whispering Corridors movies, it's basically a series of films that deal about horror stories happening at Korean high schools for girls. And those movies were basically the starting points for many famous Korean actresses of the future. For example, Kim Gyo-ri, Gong Yo-jin, Song Ji-ho, Kim Ok-bin, they all started in the Whispering Corridors movies. I actually could spend hours talking about that series, and especially about the second part, Memento Mori, which is my absolute favorite, but I think I will do a separate video on those films one day. The second part, Memento Mori, is special in that way that it doesn't focus too much on the horror aspect of the series, but more on the drama aspect of the series. And it also features a female student character that commits suicide. And one of the main motives in that movie is basically a diary she kept before dying. And you will see in a minute why I specifically mentioned that diary. So anyway, this is the Korean Ultimate Edition of that movie, and it is definitely ultimate. I'm so happy I got that edition when it came out. It is really a collector's piece, and it's worth every cent. It wasn't even that expensive. I think it only costed like $40. So the Ultimate Edition comes in this hardcover box. Looks really gorgeous. And it represents an actual book. We can slide it open like that, and inside are 6 discs. And that, my friends, is amazing. So let's have a look at all the 6 discs, I would say. Let me get them out. It's not that easy actually. First of all, we have a small information flyer that lets us know what is on the actual discs. Disc 1 obviously has the feature film on it in its cinematic release. So here's the disc, and here's the backside of the first DVD. Disc number 2 features the unedited and unseen edition of the movie. So the actual cinematic release is 98 minutes long, and this uncut version is actually 186 minutes long. So well over 3 hours. The movie was also a slight scandal when it came out because it features some lesbian content. And back then in Korea that was still a very big issue. But I think you have it all in here in this uncut version. So this is the second disc with the extra long version of the movie. Disc number 3 is full of special features. Disc number 4 is called Before and After Memento Mori. It features short films of the 2 directors before they made Memento Mori, and it also takes a look back at Memento Mori 5 years after the film was released. So this is then the 4th disc of our 6-disc set. Disc number 5 essentially features the theatrical cut of the movie once again, but this time in HD. In the WMV HD format, you can watch it on your computer, and back then this was really a big deal. We didn't have Blu-ray yet, so having a movie in HD in a DVD release was really something special. And the last disc of this release is a soundtrack disc. It features the very awesome soundtrack of the movie, and it looks like that. But the absolute coolest piece about this release is this here. I've mentioned the diary that appears in the movie by the girl that committed suicide, and this here is basically the real life version of that diary, and this is really awesome. This is a great gimmick done with a lot of love, and this really shows how much effort went into this Ultimate Edition, and I ultimately love it. This is one of the greatest DVD releases I know to date of a very, 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 very wonderful movie. Let's stay in the Whispering Corridors universe. This is part 4 of the series called Moksori, English title is either Voice or Voice Letter. By the way, I think I just said it is a 4-part series. This is actually not true. It is a 5-part series, but part 5 came way later and it was way shittier, so I tend to forget that one all the time. Anyway, this is part 4 and it features the 2 great actresses Kim Ok-bin and Cha Ye-ron. This is another part that focuses a bit more on the drama element than on the horror element. I would say it's my second favorite part of the whole series. And what is very special about part number 4 here is that it is visually very striking. It has very strong images. It is a very artistic piece, but nevertheless still very strong when it comes to characters and story. And this is yet another great Digipack release with a simple yet very cool cover. Here's the back side and you can open it like that. We do have our main actresses here, for example Kim Ok-bin here on the right side and Cha Ye-ron on the left side. Here is a small flyer, a leaflet, motifs of the actual movie, and here's our 2-disc set. A very lovely release and a very good horror drama, and I do of course recommend it. Now this is what I call a huge ass special edition. Just in comparison, this is the size of a normal DVD release. This is the movie Bus Stop or L'Abri. But anyway, this is yet another gorgeous edition of another art house drama starring a very young Kim Min-jung. She's a gorgeous actress and I really do like her. This one is a very limited set and it is really cool. It is also numbered. So this is number 188. You can open it up here on the top, for example. I think there was a cardboard box in it. So actually let me try to get this stuff out without ruining it, because that would suck. So no, there's no cardboard box. For some reason I remember the cardboard box, but whatever. There's a huge book in there. I can't remember what was inside there. Okay, I have no clue what it was about, but definitely a nice gimmick and it looks high quality. Maybe it's actually a novel to the movie, I have no idea. And of course here is the actual DVD set. I do love that cover motif, that poster motif. Really lovely. The back side, and here's the inside. This is just a single disc release with a small booklet. Definitely a very lovely edition for this movie. Here are 3 movies I want to talk about very briefly, not because the movies suck, but the DVD releases I have do suck. Those are all Yes Asia free giveaway versions, so basically the Hong Kong versions of the movies. The first one is Silence, which is actually a really good drama. It deals about sexual violence and abuse against young school children by the school administration. It is very gripping and very moving. Unfortunately, this Hong Kong edition is cut by over a minute, so it leaves out some of the sexual acts committed by the school staff, and besides that you can see the actual release is pretty shitty. Now what is that? Makes me mad to release a good movie like that. Anyway, this is the back. The second movie is a mediocre, could you say horror film? I think yeah, partly horror film, partly thriller. It is about a young girl getting abducted by a pervert. Again, we have the theme of abuse and sexual violence. And actually for the longest part of the movie, we follow the older sister of the victim who tries to find her younger sister. This Hong Kong release of the movie is cut by 8 minutes. I didn't know that when I got it, so this one can kiss my ass. And I got the uncut UK release instead. I will show you that one a bit later. Actually, to be completely honest, I'm not sure if this movie is also cut in its Hong Kong version. Foxy Festival, and slightly erotic comedy flick. I actually have not yet compared the Korean and the Hong Kong version, so as mentioned, I cannot say exactly if this version is cut. I do hope not. Actually a pretty funny short wild flick. Fans of comedy might enjoy that one, and it comes in another garbage release. It is just, I just want to cry when I see that. As a movie collector, it makes me want to cry. And this box is actually the only K-drama that I physically own. This is Love Story in Harvard, a very mediocre short series. I think it also was really shot partly in Harvard, but please don't quote me on that. It features beauty Kim Tae-hee and also Kim Min that I mentioned earlier when we looked at An Affair. And once again, Kim Min was the reason why I got that drama. It's not a bad drama, but it's not a sensational drama. So if you name like classic Korean dramas that everyone has to see if they want to know about Korea, this will probably be not on the list. And this is, as you might be able to tell, a Chinese release of the drama. This here is actually Kim Min, the woman that is responsible that I got this box set. So this is the complete series. I think it has 18 parts. I've only seen it once, so the story escaped me completely. It was about university life, it was about love, it was about intrigue. As all the K-dramas are, at least the older ones. And that's it pretty much for this one.